Indian American Congressman Suhas Subramanyam, who represents Virginia's 10th Congressional District, recently took a very strong stance on defense of federal workers. On February 13, 2025, he spoke in the US House of Representatives, condemning the Trump's administration's treatment of federal employees and contractors. His speech focuses on how the ongoing job cuts, mistreatment, and funding freezes are not only affecting the workers themselves, but also putting the country's security and essential services at risk. Subramanyam represents a district with over 34,000 federal employees and thousands of contractors, and he made it clear that their work is crucial for keeping the country running smoothly. He warned that these job losses and budget cuts could lead to weakened national security, disruption in public services, and even higher costs for taxpayers in long run. Subramanyam pointed out that there is a common misconception that federal workers are just bureaucrats who waste taxpayers' money. However, he argued that the reality is quite the opposite. He explained that federal employees are highly skilled professionals who play a crucial role in keeping the government efficiency, maintaining public safety, and protecting national health. By ensuring that government programs run smoothly and effectively, federal employees actually help save taxpayers' money rather than waste it. He further emphasized that their work is not just about sitting in offices, but includes important roles in security, counter-terrorism, disaster response, food safety, and other essential services that directly impact the lives of millions of Americans. To strengthen his argument, Subramanyam shared a real-life example of how these job cuts are already causing serious harm to the country. He mentioned a US Department of Agriculture employee who raised a concern that the job cuts are happening in her department, which is responsible for protecting US crops from disasters, diseases, and pests. And it could lead to thousands of millions of dollars in future losses. With fewer inspectors, the risk of crop damage and food shortages increases, which could lead to higher prices for everyday Americans. He also spoke about contractors working in counterterrorism who was let go despite having a strong record in fighting extremism. Now, this particular thing means that the US has fewer trained professionals monitoring threat, which could make the country less safer. That's not it. Another example he highlighted was the case of contractor responsible for vetting refugees who were forced to lay off 100 security experts due to budget cuts. This is particularly alarming because it weakens the screening process for individuals entering the US, creating potential security risk. Given the scale of these job losses, Subramanyam has now called for a formal investigation into Trump administration handling of federal employment. As a member of House Oversight and Accountability Committee, he is demanding answers on whether these job cuts were legally justified or if Congress-approved funding was unlawfully frozen. He believes that these cuts and policy changes need to be closely examined, specifically because they are impacting areas as important as national security, food safety, and counter-terrorism. If federal workers are being fired unfairly, or if funds meant for critical services are being redirected or blocked, it could create long-term problems that will affect the entire country. Subramanyam also warned that if this pattern of mistreatment continues, few people will want to work in public services. Federal jobs require specialized skills and expertise, and if the US government does not treat its workers fairly, it will struggle to attract top talent in near future. He pointed out that nobody will want to serve in the government where their jobs are consistently at risk. This will not only affect government efficiency but will also cost taxpayers even more money. When skilled professionals leave public services, the government is forced to rely on outsourcing and private contractors, which often comes at a very higher cost. Additionally, loss of experienced workers means weakened public services, which can make everyday life more difficult for every American out there. Subramanyam's message is clear. The federal workforce is essential to the functioning of the country, and their treatment should reflect the importance of their work. He argued that cutting jobs in crucial departments may seem like a cost-saving measure in short term, but in long term, it leads to more problems, such as weaker national security, slow public services, and even higher costs for taxpayers. Instead of attacking federal workers, he urged the government to support them, invest in them, and recognize their value. Well, the debate over federal job cuts and worker treatment is far from over, and Subramanyam's speech has reignited a larger discussion about how these policies are affecting the country. He has also called for greater accountability, urging lawmakers to rethink these decisions before more damage is done. With essential services already being disrupted, the coming months will be very important in determining whether these cuts continue or if the government takes action to protect its workers. The big question now is, should the government continue cutting federal jobs in the name of reducing spending, or should it focus on maintaining a strong, skilled workforce that keeps the country safe and running smoothly? As the situation unfolds, it is certainly clear that the decisions made today will have lasting impact on the future of public services in America. Do share your thoughts.